education abroad. Since its establishment, Indonesia Hmong Global has mentored over 700 aspiring students, held more than 15 didactic events per year, and gained nearly 50,000 community members and social media followers. Over the years, we have built meaningful partnerships with stakeholders and key players in the education sector, including government bodies, international development agencies, universities, and scholarship providers, and such as in the case of today, the British Council Indonesia. Today's info session will run for about 2 hours, during which you'll hear more about this once-in-a-lifetime scholarship opportunity. Our first speakers for today will be Mr. Muhaimin Syamsuddin, Head of Education at the British Council Indonesia, Bu Uni Prayuti, Senior Program Manager at ASEAN SAGE. Following the presentation on women in STEM scholarships, you'll also hear directly from 3 UK universities participating in the WIS scholarships this year. They are Ms. Jenny Long from Imperial College London, Ms. Navdeep Uppal from University of Bath, and Mr. Imran Hashim from University of Warwick. Of course, the webinar would not be complete without a sharing session from a fellow WIS awardee, Ms. Palamita Lupasari, Women in STEM Scholars for 2023 and 2024. And now, without further ado, please give a warm welcome to our first speakers, Mr. Muhaimin Syamsuddin, Head of Education at the British Council Indonesia, and Bu Uni, Senior Program Manager at ASEAN Stage. Mr. Muhaimin, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Karina. I'm now sharing my screen. Can you see it now?
Yes, it's visible, Pa.
All right. So thank you, everyone, for spending your Saturday with us. I hope by the end of this webinar, you will have the information you need to be able to apply to the 3 university and also to the Women in STEM Scholarship and UK ASEAN Scholarship. So hopefully you will all be with us until the end of the webinar. So to start with, I'll give you a quick run through of Women in STEM Scholarship. So why we do this? I think there are 2 things that I want to highlight here. Is the fact that externally, if we look at data from the UN, for example, the number of female participating in the STEM related subjects or STEM career is relatively low, and that data, if we compare it into Indonesia context, probably even lower than 30% at the moment. So we want to do something about it to address this issue, and hence we started from last year. We introduced Women in STEM scholarships, and it has been successful in attracting many bright female scientists from Indonesia to study in the UK. Secondly, since 76 years ago, when British Council was first open our office, in this case, library in Bandung, education has been at the heart of our works in Indonesia. So we 76 years later, then we still do a lot of education project, including scholarships. So as you heard earlier from Karina, that there are 2 branches, if you like, Women in STEM Scholarship. So the Women in STEM Scholarship with UK partner, in this case, University of Bath, and ASEAN UK SAGE Women in STEM Scholarships with 2 UK university partners, Imperial College and University of Warwick. And I'm delighted that at this call we have also colleagues from prospective applicant from Timor-Leste. So I hope you also will have the information you need to be able to apply later on. This is just some few facts that I want to highlight. So we, as I said, that we've been running the scholarships over the past 3 years. So this is our fourth cohort, 2024, and we have funded 51 masters and then 13 fellowships. Fellowship typically it's those who have PhD and wants to do 1 year work in a lab in the UK. And then last year we did also a survey, and then to our applicants and also scholars, and I think the result is quite encouraging, as you can see in the screens, that 61% of our scholars found the process easy. So I hope by attending this webinar, you will be able to complete your application quite quickly, and also I think also to highlight these other 5 subject area that are quite popular for our scholars in ASEAN, including in Indonesia. The final thing that I want to highlight here is that of course there are a lot of scholarships out there. I think in Indonesia we're talking about LPDP that provide maybe thousands of scholarships, but I think where we are unique is that I believe at the moment we are the only scholarship provider that really targets specific area, in this case to increase women participations in STEM education, and also encourage and facilitate them to pursue their career in STEM. So I think in this case we are quite unique. These are the eligibility criteria. So I think in this case, for women in STEM, as long as you are a passport holder of one of the eligible countries, in this case Indonesia. So if you are Indonesian citizens, you can apply for this scholarships. You have to demonstrate that you need the finance support from us, and then you are also active in the field of that you want to study in the UK. So you need to be able to tell us in your application that you are indeed working on the subject area. The other thing that I want to highlight is the last 2 bullet points. There is that we would like to engage you after you graduate from your study, to be able to work in us in some of the alumni UK activities that we are planning, really to help future generations from Indonesia to be able to pursue similar educations in the UK. If you hold dual British citizenship, you're not eligible to apply for these scholarships. Or if you are working for one of the agency of the UK government, not eligible to apply for the Women in STEM scholarships. And if you are currently, being funded by other scholarship provider, partial scholarship, then you are also not eligible for applying to the scholarship. And for this year, we also would like to really give priority to those who haven't been studied in the UK. So if you have studied in the UK in the past, then unfortunately you are not and funded by the UK government, you are not eligible for Women in STEM scholarships. It's a full scholarship, so we cover tuition fee and also cover the cost of IELTS examinations, return travel to the UK, allowance or stipends while you're studying in the UK, and also visa and NHS surcharge. if you go to our website, you will find a list of FAQ, but there are a couple of things that I want to highlight here is age limit. Typically, scholarships in Indonesia have an age limit, but for women in STEM scholarship, we don't have an age limit. So it doesn't matter how old are you at the moment. Then it's as long as you meet the eligibility criteria to study master in the UK, then we will consider your applications. I think you might see in News Indonesia there are changes in the UK government UK visa regulations. So unfortunately, for 2024-2025 cohort, if you want to bring dependents to the UK, unfortunately this scholarship cannot cover that. So if you want to understand more, there is a link in the screens that you can further read. I think, yeah. These are just some numbers from the previous cohort from Indonesia. So this scholarship is open for ASEAN member states. So this number that you see on the screen is only a scholarship awardee from Indonesia. If you want to find out more, please look at our website and also the website of and also ask colleagues from University of Bath who will be presenting later on. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Pak Muhaimin, for the very insightful sharing and presentation. Now I would like to invite Ibu Uni for the sharing from ASEAN stage. The floor is yours, Ibu.
Thank you, Mbak Karina. If anyone can help me with the slide, please, that would be great. Yeah, perfect. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon, good morning, depends on where you are. Thank you, and it's great to be here today. My name is Uni Prayuti, or call me Uni. I'm the Senior Program Manager for the ASEAN UK SITS program. I'm based in British Council in Indonesia. Next slide, please. Yeah, I'm here to tell you a little bit about the program, about the ASEAN UK SITS program, and in particular, our recently launched ASEAN UK SITS Women in STEM Scholarships Opportunity. You see in your screen now, ASEAN UK SITS stands for ASEAN UK Supporting the Advancement of Girls' Education. It is a UK-funded program for ASEAN that aims to improve the quality of life of girls and women in the region through education. Next slide, please. So before we move on, I'd like to just slightly highlight the partner logos on your screen here. At the top left, we have the UK International Development logo representing our funding from the government of UK through the UK mission to ASEAN. The top right, you see the logo of ASEAN. It is very much, this program is aiming to support ASEAN integration and development through education. Toward the bottom of the screen, we have partners who deliver the program. British Council as the program co-lead. It is the UK's international organization for cultural relations and educational opportunities. And then our co-lead organization, the CMIO Secretariat, or the Southeast Asian Ministers of Education Organization Secretariat. Our delivery partners, strategic delivery partners, are the Australian Council for Educational Research and EdTech Hub. Next slide, please. Yeah, our program, the ASEAN UK SITS program, is a program for ASEAN and Timor-Leste, which reflects the UK's commitment to improving education outcomes in the ASEAN region. The program aims to empower girls and marginalized groups and helps to foster a more prosperous future for the ASEAN region. As for the program goal itself, on your screen now, is around improving the lives through a more sustained, supported access to an inclusive quality education offering, and which also helps to narrow the development gap in the ASEAN region. We have 3 work streams or 3 pillars in the program. Pillar 1 focuses on foundational learning. Pillar 2 focuses on out-of-school girls and marginalized groups. And the ASEAN UK SIDGE scholarship program contributes to our 3rd pillar, which is around breaking down the gender barriers to digital skills and employment. If we can move to the next slide, please. Yeah. The ASEAN UK SIDGE Women in STEM Scholarship contributes to the ASEAN women and girls development through the breaking down of gender barriers to digital skills and employment, increasing access to information and knowledge for girls, encouraging careers in STEM field, and support access to high quality UK education for women with passion in STEM, and also to provide life-changing opportunity, as well as nurturing inspirational female leaders, advocates, role models for future generations. Next slide, please. You see on your screen now 2 very inspirational messages from 2 key people in our program. The ambassador to ASEAN, UK ambassador to ASEAN, Her Excellency Ambassador Sarath and the Secretary General of ASEAN, His Excellency Dr. Kao Kim Horn. They both highlight the significance of equal access to education, nurturing future female leaders, improving inclusivity, and also increasing the presence of women in the STEM sector. The next slide, please. So the ASEAN UK SIDGE program, there are a total of 11 scholarships at this batch available through the ASEAN UK SIDGE funding. And for applicants in Indonesia, the process is being managed by our partner university at the Imperial College London, while applicants from Timor-Leste, we partner with the University of Warwick as well as Imperial College London. Next slide, please. Yeah, the application is now open. Beware of the deadline. It's coming very closely, but we still have time. The deadline is 5 April 2024. So yeah, it's quite close from today, but you still have time. So I encourage you to prepare your application today and submit your application as soon as possible. Next slide, please. So do visit our 2 sites shown on your screen now to learn more about the ASEAN UK SIDGE program and the scholarship program that is offered by this ASEAN UK SIDGE cooperation. Next slide, please. Yeah, so that was my last slide. Thank you very much for listening. I hope that was clear. And now let me head over back to Mbak Karina. Over to you, Mbak Karina. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ibu Yuni. So everyone, make sure to note the deadline and be sure not to miss the deadline if you want to apply for the scholarship. Now, I think it's about time that we hear from one of the university representatives that is participating in the Women in STEM Scholarship Indonesia and Timor-Leste. Let's hear it from Miss Navdeep Uppal from the University of Bath. Miss Navdeep, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. I'm just going to try and share my screen now. Hopefully everybody could see my screen. Yeah, hopefully can you see my screen okay?
Yes, it's visible.
Yeah, okay. Thank you ever so much. Hello, my name is Navdeep Uppal and I'm Head of International Student Recruitment at the University of Bath. So today I'm here to, I really wanted to talk about where is Bath about the university, why come and study at Bath, a little bit more about the eligibility for the Women in STEM scholarships, which we have, which you heard about today also, and then how to make an application to us for the scholarships. So first of all, Bath is located in the southwest of England, so we're very close to Bristol. We are 80 minutes from London, so it takes from Bath city centre into central London, 80 minutes on the train, 50 minutes from Bristol Airport, and 2 hours to London Heathrow. We are the UK's only UNESCO World Heritage City. We are famous for our Roman thermal spa, where the city gets its name from, and the Georgian architecture. So I've just got a few photos for you to show what our city actually looks like. We were awarded the named one of the UK's world's greatest places by the Times Magazine in 2021, and year on year we are also in the top cities to live in terms of safety in the UK. So the Complete University Guide in 2023, we were again second for one of the safest cities in the UK. So this is just an aerial shot of the city, and you can see that the famous Georgian architecture. I'll come on to pictures of the campus as well, but just to give you a flavour of what the city of Bath is like. And again, you may know us, we are famous for having links with Jane Austen. Some of you may have watched the series Bridgerton, which also was filmed in Bath. So a fairly famous city, and again, some photos. We're also very close to the countryside as well as being able with easy access to the major cities. So why come and study at Bath? And this picture gives you an idea of what campus looks like. We are constantly in the top rankings. We are top 150 in the World QS rankings, top 5 in the UK Complete University Guide. We're top 10 in all UK national rankings, and we are always named top in terms of our student experience. We have gold in the Teaching Excellence Framework, and in terms of our careers and graduate prospects, I think that's one of the top things in terms of the programs that we offer at Bath, about bringing sort of industry and experience into our programs, and we are 4th in terms of graduate prospects for all of our students in the Complete University Guide. So this is campus itself. And as you can see, it's quite different in terms of the look of the Georgian city. We are on the top of a big hill, about a mile away from the city of Bath. We have a community of over 20,000 students, so around a medium-sized institution. 1/3 of our students come from outside of the UK, so studying from all over. So we have a diverse student community. We have a split of around 2/3 studying on undergraduate programs and 1/3 on postgraduate programs as well. As you can see, it's quite a compact campus, sports facilities, accommodation on campus, and learning facilities that go through the centre, but surrounded by that countryside, the greenery as well. So the Women in STEM scholarship, some of this has already been picked up, so I will be fairly quick on this. So what is the eligibility criteria if you wish to come and study, apply for the scholarship at Bath? We have the scholarships open this year for 4 different regions, and Indonesia is one of those. And the criteria in terms of having not previously studied at a higher degree level before, or in the UK, you must obviously be eligible for one of our master's courses, and give us show a case for support for financial need. We are looking for high academic credentials as well, so a first or high second class degree. Return to your home country after you have completed your studies, and you must identify as a woman as well. So which courses, so this is the information you'll be waiting for, which courses does the scholarship apply to? So we have 7 programs. These are split by our Faculty of Science and our Faculty of Engineering and Design. So the programs that are eligible for the Women in STEM scholarships are our MSc Biotechnology programs, our Sustainable Biotechnology and Healthcare Biotechnology program, our MSc in Computer Science, MSc Robotics and Autonomous Systems, MSc Automotive Technology, MSc Architectural Engineering, and MSc Environmental Engineering. And it's this 1-year version of these courses which are eligible for the funding. So applications are now open. We have a deadline until the 30th of April. We do encourage you to have also applied for the course that you're interested in. So they're 2 separate applications. One is for the course of study and one is for the scholarship. And this is just an example of what the application form for the scholarship will look like. So once you've applied for the course itself, you will receive a student number, and then if you use this for your scholarship application with the deadline of the 30th of April. And what we're looking for, as I've said already, is really strong academic credentials, a passion for your chosen subject. So we really need to see that when you make your application, a strong desire to use your scholarship for supporting other women in STEM, in industry, and how you're going to relate that back to your sort of career trajectory, and then a strong case for financial support. So those are the 4 key things that you will need to identify in your personal statement when applying to us. And this is just an example of one of the students who was awarded the scholarship last year. And so obviously that was a great experience. But yes, if you do have any questions, you can always get in touch, and more information is available here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Nadeep. Now I'd like to give the floor to Miss Jenny Long from the Imperial College London to share the university information as well as the WIS scholarship information as well. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much. I'll just wait for my slides to be shared. Perfect. So that's actually a PDF version. So if it's okay, I will share my own screen, which will bring up the PowerPoint, if that's okay. Otherwise, you'll have notes that are incorrect on the bottom. Let me just share my screen. So hopefully those are appearing on screen.
Yes, it's visible.
Thank you, thank you. So Imperial is a world top 10 university. We're currently ranked 6th in the world in the latest QS World University Rankings. What this means is there is a lot of global recognition for Imperial through partner universities, through research groups, through governments offering scholarships. And people really understand the quality of education that we provide. So the graduates that leave us and the research that we're producing. We are a research-led institution. We don't just teach students, so we place a lot of emphasis on our research. And as a student, that's important for you because those researchers at the cutting edge of their field will be the academics that are teaching you. You learn directly from them. You also get to use the same STEM facilities that they do. So for example, we have a carbon capture pilot plant as part of chemical engineering, and we have a hydrodynamics lab as part of civil engineering as well. And in the latest Research Excellence Framework Exercise 2021, this is an exercise in the UK that assesses the research from universities. We were top in the UK overall with a greater proportion of 4-star world-leading research than any other UK university. In terms of our community, we are the only UK university to focus entirely on science, engineering, medicine, and business. So if you are really enthusiastic about STEM, it's a fantastic environment to be in because you are absolutely surrounded by it. From the academics you meet, the researchers you engage with, the companies that come to campus to talk to students, and the other students you'll meet on your course. In terms of our location, our main campus is based in South Kensington. This is in the centre of London, and you can see on the photo Hyde Park in the background, the Royal Albert Hall, a circular concert venue, and the Imperial campus is just in front. Most students will have some learning at South Kensington, but as a postgraduate student, you may also be based in White City, our new campus in West London, or for life sciences, you may be based in Silwood Park. And this is a campus in Ascot outside of London.
Hi, Jenny, sorry. It's not full screen yet. So
Okay,
sorry.
I apologize. It is on mine. Let me see if I can share that.
I think this is the presenter view. I'm so sorry.
Let me see why it has done that. Ah, okay. I think I know why. Let me just stop sharing and hopefully that will come back. Is that better?
Yes, perfect. Thank you.
I had another monitor on, so it picked the wrong screen. So if we just move on to the next slide, this gives you an idea of the departments that are eligible for the Women in STEM scholarship at Imperial. Do have a look at our scholarship information online. Not all of the courses within these departments are eligible. So it's really important you check that we are offering a scholarship for the course you're interested in. I'll cover a little bit about how to apply for the scholarship at Imperial, and then a couple of tips on making an application. You do need to apply for the master's program at Imperial first, and you must receive an offer before applying for the scholarship. I saw there was a question around this. For Imperial, you must receive an offer first. It does mean that time is quite short. So if you are considering applying to Imperial, do put your application in within the next few days if you can, to allow our admissions team time to get your references, to assess your application, to interview as well if they need to. So I do urge you to apply as quickly as you can. Once you've received an offer, you can then submit the scholarship application. And again, this is direct to Imperial. So you go onto our scholarship webpage, and I will share the link later if I can. And then once you've done that, it's a short application form that must be completed by the 5th of April, 2024. In terms of applying to our master's program, a few tips before I hand over to my colleague from Warwick. You do apply direct to Imperial. You can choose up to 2 courses unless it's in the business school. For the business school, it's 1 course only. You will be considered in preference order. So you put your first choice of course first, and then you're only considered for the second course if you are rejected from the first course. So do be very careful what order you put the course on your application. Some courses will have application rounds, and so you may find when you're looking at our deadlines that some of them will say that the next round of applications opens after the scholarship deadline. If that's the case, please email me directly. You have my email on screen, and I can talk to the admissions department to see if we can fast track your application. It will vary from department to department, but I urge you to email me first before submitting the application. Some courses will be on a rolling basis, so they stay open until they are full. But again, please apply as soon as you can. In terms of entry requirements, generally for Indonesian students, you need a good undergraduate degree. We will have entry requirements based on your GPA. So on our website, it may give the UK grades for an undergraduate degree. Again, please just email me and I can give you the GPA equivalent for Indonesian universities. For any students from Timor-Leste, please do email me in advance, as I will need to confirm your entry requirements with admissions to check you are eligible. So I do recommend you email me before applying. And I think I just want to say maybe two quick things on personal statements. This is an important part of your application. It demonstrates that the course is right for you and you have the skills, knowledge, and aptitude to succeed. It's normally 1 to 2 pages long. And my biggest tip is make sure you're tailoring your personal statement to our course at Imperial and really demonstrate that motivation, enthusiasm, and knowledge of the subject. So where you see that subject taking to you in your career, how your current studies have prepared you, why you chose our course in particular, any relevant experiences through extracurriculars, and a strong concluding paragraph. A lot of students fall in the trap of submitting a very generic statement for the subject, but you should really, for any master's program, tailor it to that particular institution, as all our programs will differ. I think I know time is precious, so I will leave it there. You do have my email address on screen. I will share it in the chat, and I'll be here for questions and answers at the end as well.
Thank you so much, Ms. Jenny, for the insightful information as well. So to everyone interested in applying for Imperial College London, please take note of the very near deadline, which is April 5th. Now, I would like to give the floor to Mr. Imran Hashim from the University of Warwick. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon to everybody joining us. Thank you for spending your afternoon with us, and I look forward to telling you a little bit more about the University of Warwick. Can I see my slides, please? Thank you. Next slide, please. Right. So I'll be sharing with you a little bit about the University of Warwick. We are a university of about 30,000 students with over 10,000 international students from over 150 countries. That means we are a very international university with about anything between 35 to 40% of the students on campus coming from overseas, from outside of the UK. University of Warwick is a member of the Russell Group, which is, of course, the group of leading UK research universities. So Russell Group universities are research focused, and Warwick is, we are part of the Russell Group. We are located in a city called Coventry, and Coventry is only 20 minutes away from Birmingham by train and only 1 hour away from London by train. So that means that when you are, studying at the University of Warwick, maybe living on campus, or maybe, living, off campus in the city of Coventry or Leamington Spa, it means that you will be able to benefit from the beautiful campus environment that we have. And when you want to go to the big cities of Birmingham, to London, it will also mean that it is very easy to access. So the best of both worlds. Next slide, please. We are a university that offers academic excellence. Next slide, please. So I have some statistics to share with you today. Now, in terms of research excellence, our university has been found to have to put out 92% world-leading or internationally excellent research, according to the Research Excellence Framework that my colleague Jenny from Imperial mentioned earlier, right? So the Research Excellence Framework is a UK government assessment, and our research has been found to be really excellent, world-leading and internationally excellent. Now, other than that, there's also the Teaching Excellence Framework. This is another UK government assessment of how universities perform in terms of their teaching quality. And the University of Warwick, we have been ranked gold for student experience, student outcomes, as well as our overall teaching quality. And that's also something we're proud of. In the UK, we are ranked 9th according to the latest Guardian University Guide. And in the world, we are ranked number 67th according to the QS World University Rankings. So definitely when you come to the University of Warwick, you can be assured that you are going to one of the top UK universities. Next slide, please. Now, I mentioned about the research excellence at the University of Warwick. One of the things that we are very proud of is the fact that the research that we do is also very often applied to industry. We are working very closely with industry to make sure that the research is something that can be translated into action, that the research is something that can be translated into a positive results for the world. So, for example, our university, we're working with Siemens to address delivery demand challenges. That is something where one of our departments, WMG, is working very closely with Siemens on this program called the Knowledge Transfer Partnership. Another knowledge transfer partnership that we have is with the pharma company AstraZeneca, which helps them to improve their product quality and manufacturing processes. Other than these two companies that I mentioned, our academics work with many more other industry partners, such as Jaguar Land Rover, Tata Motors, Rolls-Royce, etc. Next slide, please. Follow your career path. So at the University of Warwick, we are really proud of the fact that we have one of the largest teams when it comes to career counseling and development, and we will be able to assist you with the career guidance and tips that you might need to ensure that you have a great career after you graduate. Next slide, please. Our students, in terms of the kinds of support that they get from the careers career services team, include one-to-one appointments with a career consultant, skills workshops and events, global recruitment events as well. So whilst for the Women in STEM scholarships, we do know that you are expected to come back to your home country, but Warwick Career Services, we actually do work with recruiters internationally. So there might be opportunities for you, when you go back to your home country, to work with a company where we have some links. We also provide online career resources. So, for example, after you graduate, you would be able to continue receiving support from our career services for some of their services. Next slide, please. We are a university with a buzzing campus thanks to our student societies, our sports activities, etc. The photo that you have in front of you is the Warwick Arts Centre, which is one of the biggest art centres outside of London. And at the Warwick Arts Centre, you actually find a few different facilities, including a small museum, 3 different cinema screens, as well as big theatres that will, hold anything from graduation ceremonies to academic lectures to touring performances by international performing companies. Next slide, please. We also have fantastic sporting facilities. What you're seeing here is a photo of our sports hub from the outside. And on the inside, you'll find that there are lots of facilities like a mega gym, badminton courts, squash courts, and rock climbing facilities, a swimming pool. Basically, a lot of sporting facilities that you can make use of when you are on campus. Next slide, please. Everything is on your doorstep on the Warwick campus. We are quite a big campus, but everything is within walking distance from one corner of the campus to the other. You could, walk that distance within 20 minutes. Next slide, please. And apart from, things like supermarket, medical center, we also have accommodation on our campus itself. Next slide, please. And this is an aerial view of campus. If you look at the bottom half of the photograph, that's just some of our student accommodation. And when you look at the top half of the photograph, where you see the dense cluster of white buildings, that's Central Campus, where you'll be able to find some of the facilities I've just mentioned, including the library, the art center, a lot of the faculty buildings, the Oculus, which is a study center, medical center, etc. Next slide, please. And for those who don't want to live on campus, we also will provide you with support to find off-campus accommodation that meets your needs. Next slide, please. The Warwick Students' Union is there, to create, like I said, the buzzing campus environment, a dynamic campus environment through the sporting activities provided, as well as the student associations and societies. Next slide, please. We provide support and well-being to all our students, and this can come in different forms. So, for example, if you're facing some academic difficulties, you'll be able to consult with your senior tutors and personal tutors. There's the Students' Union Services already mentioned, a multi-faith chaplaincy. So we have a chapel on campus, we have a musalla on campus for the Muslim students. So everything you need, you'll be able to find on campus. And of course, we provide security patrols to keep campus safe. Next slide, please. In terms of admissions, we are looking for students who have a minimum of a second lower honors degree or the equivalent of that. And some courses, we do ask for a second upper honors degree. And, we would require the equivalent of that, for students coming from Indonesia and East Timor. Next slide, please. Now I come to my second last slide, and I'd like to talk about the different courses offered by the University of Warwick. Actually, for the UK ASEAN Stage Women in STEM Scholarship, if you're interested in the University of Warwick, you can only come to Warwick if you are from some countries such as Timor-Leste, Malaysia, Vietnam, etc. For students from Indonesia, unfortunately, you will not be able to come to Warwick on this scholarship. If you're interested, students from Indonesia, if you're interested in this scholarship, you will have to apply to Imperial. But for students out there, listening in from Timor-Leste, if you're interested to come to Warwick, you'd be very welcome to. And these are some of the courses that we have available. Some of the courses that I would like to highlight would include the MASC Global Sustainable Development. That's an interdisciplinary course. And the reason it's called MASC is because it stands for Masters of Arts and Science. Another very interesting course that we recently introduced is the MSc in Games Engineering. So if you're somebody who's interested in doing video games and games engineering, this is definitely a course that you should be looking into. More information about our courses are available in the URL given at the bottom of the slide. And some important information that I would like to share is that if you are interested to apply to Warwick and you're applying for this scholarship as well, then you can apply for an application fee waiver. That means when you apply for Warwick, you can request for a fee waiver and state the reason is because you're applying for this scholarship, and we'd be able to provide you with a fee waiver. Right? We do accept students who have conditional offers and then apply onto the scholarship. Actually, even without an offer, you can still apply. So all you need to do is apply for the course first on the Warwick website. when you apply for the course, you'll get a Warwick ID number. As long as you have a Warwick ID number, you'll be able to apply for the scholarship, right? And so you don't need to wait to get a conditional offer or an unconditional offer to apply for the scholarship. As long as you have the Warwick ID number, you can apply for the scholarship. Next slide, please. And that's my contact information. So that's my email address and my WhatsApp number. So if you scan the QR code, you'd also be able to contact me via WhatsApp. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Imran. It seems that University of Warwick, similar to the other universities, have a very comprehensive course, but also a very robust social life and career services as well. So now I would like to invite Ms. Paramita Rupasari, who is a Women in STEM Scholar for 2023 and 2024, to share what it is like to be a WIS scholar and what life in the UK is like and the opportunities that she's gotten through this scholarship. The floor is yours.
Good morning, everybody. First, thank you so much for having me here. So let me introduce myself. My name is Paramita Rupasari. I'm the Board of British Council Scholarship for Women in STEM for academic year 2023 until 2024. And currently, I'm doing my master in digital manufacturing at the University of Strathclyde in Glasgow City. Next. Please, next slide. Okay, so today's agenda. So today, I'll be sharing the tips for applying British Council scholarship for women in STEM. But this scholarship based on my experience on last year. And next, I'll be sharing like my living and studying experience here, like as a Glaswegian and also as a student of University of Strathclyde. Next. Okay, so first, so this slide will be sharing about the tips for the woman in STEM application in general. So here I have like 3 tips that I find it really important to note, specifically for this scholarship. So the first is check the required documents. Maybe it may seem so basic, but we know that when we want to apply for the scholarship, we have to apply for the university first, and after that we can apply for the scholarship. So per one application, so we have to apply twice to the campus and to the scholarship. So like both of them may require different documents. So make sure that we have checked the list of the documents in the first place and check if we have the document or not, or if they requires us, like if they need certain information in one specific document, make sure that our document have that information. If not, if we are not so like we don't have a clear understanding about documents, I think it's completely fine and it's completely suggested to ask the university through the email. And like usually they will have like the student support or the application support, and they will help you to explain further about that specific document. For example, in my experience from the University of Strathclyde, they required me to provide an academic transcript per semester. I have that document, but when I apply and I send that document, they told me that the exam that for each semester have to be written in the academic transcript, and I don't have that information in my academic transcript. So I have to make a special request to my undergraduate university, and they have to like tailor the academic transcript for me, just for me to insert the exam date. So we know that all of this process, it may take some time. So make sure we check that in the first place in the beginning of our timeline of application. So if there's some document that we need, we can request it, and we still have we have the allowance, like time allowance, to wait for that document to be ready. And the next one is, okay, and the second point is fully discover who we are, what we are good at, what do we want to do, what is our plan for the nation, and how could we achieve it. Just know exactly what we are going to do. It's not only like, oh, I want to continue my study to the master level. I don't think that's enough. Make sure that we know what we are going to do with all of this thing. And the third one is decide your strategy. Okay, so last year, I do really remember that I emailed like the British Council team. Like I was asking that, can I apply for more than one university, like for one period of application like this? And they answered that it's possible. That we are allowed to apply more than one university, but then I reconsider that idea because I know that I was working at that moment, so I don't have that much energy. I don't have that much time to prepare like in total like around 4 different essays. So for example, if we want to apply for 2 different universities, so we have to apply for the first university like 2. So we have like 2 times filling in the application, the scholarship application, and 2 times preparing the essay or personal statement for applying for registering to the university. So in total 4. I don't think I can do that, but if you guys have the time and you know that you can do that without ignoring the quality of the essay, I think that's a good idea. So just decide your strategy from now on. Could you please move to the next slide? Okay, and the next is tips in writing the essay. Okay, this is really, I think this tips is really personal based on my experience and what I found it really useful during the writing of the essay. So the first one is dig into the course deeply, really deeply, that deeply. So the first is make sure that we understand the goals of the course that we are applying to, like what is the expected outcome after we graduate from that course. Usually they will write it in the description of this course in the university website, so check that out. And the second one is explore the syllabus of the course that we are applying for. Make sure that we read every description, every explanation of each module that we are going to have during our study. And the next is make sure that we know who's the head program of that course, including the lecturers as well. And the last one is check the released journal articles from that university, especially from the lecturers and the head program, and also from the students of that course. So these informations, we can use it in our essay. And the next one is know exactly what we write. So we have to have like a reasonable background of everything that we write in our essay. So it's not something that we just made it up. So just for the first, that collect the literatures. I felt that it's like doing my second dissertation, like, like after like doing your thesis or like dissertation and writing the essay for the British Council, I felt like it's like doing another one because I really collect the literatures about all the informations, about the journal articles, about anything related to my field, related to my action that I want to do. And the second is make sure that we read the latest news or update about our field, about the actions. And the last one is find reliable statistical data sources, because I think one of the best way to like explain a problem or like to define a problem in our essay is just by stating the number. So yeah, I think like when we have the statistic data, it's a really good thing. And the third one is create visible and structured one. So usually like the questions for scholarship, they will ask us to like, what are you going to do with your master's degree? What are you going to do after you graduate from this course? So the first one, make sure that our plan is relevant. So it should be visible and structured, relevant. That is why we have to read latest news as much as possible when we have time. And the second one is make sure that our action is supported by our study, right? If it is not supported, then why British Council have to grant that scholarship for us? And the third one is explain. I don't know, I just like the way of like in explaining something, in explaining an action. I will start with why. So the background, like the current condition, the background, It usually can be from news, can be from personal experience, and it would be good if we could provide some statistical data. And the next after that, what are we going to do in facing that issue? And the next one is how. How in this case is very, I mean, like we can explain anything in how, for example, like about the funding sources, like the approach that we are going to do, or we can explain about the timeline and make sure it's really it's something that is feasible and possible to do. So yeah, I think that's all for tips in writing the essay. Could you please move to the next slide? Okay, so here's my life as a student in University of Strathclyde. So like most of the time, maybe like 50% of my time, I just spend it for doing the group projects. So here's the library, one of the floor in our library. And the next one is I also attend some of the university's events. So it was at the Christmas dinner. And the last photo is I also like making a lot of new friends. So it's actually like my photo with the other scholar from British Council from Southeast Asia. So they are from Malaysia, from Philippines, and from Vietnam. We were taking the city sightseeing bus in Glasgow to go around the city like in 2 days. So yeah, it was a very pleasant experience for me. Could you please move to the next slide? Okay, so I'll be sharing my life as well as a Glaswegian. So the first is I love to strolling the city, especially during the sunny days or even cloudy days. It's still okay, as long as there is no rain and not so windy. I will go around the city. And the next one is I love to try nice food places. We have there are a lot of restaurants from around the world in the city center. And the third one is I like to take pictures of the fascinating murals. So our university, like University of Strathclyde, my university, they have a lot of murals around the campus area, and all of them are very beautiful. So could you please next? Okay, and I also love to watch orchestra. This is like a new hobby that I just found here. So there are like 2 different places to watch an orchestra in the city center of Glasgow. This is one of the place. And the next one is I love to spend my weekend in a botanical garden in Glasgow. And the last one is like celebrating the sunny day. Everybody here and we have a sunny day like today, everybody will just go outside, just walk around the city, or just like sitting outside the coffee shop because it's something rare. I used to hate sunny days back in Indonesia, but here it's just something that I do really appreciate. Okay, could you please move it to the next slide? Okay, I also had some first-time experiences as well. So I joined a Highlands tour by myself. This is a photo. And next is I experienced my very first snow here. It was like in the beginning of December or the end of November, I forgot. And the next is I also attend a Scottish family Christmas dinner. So actually, the husband is Scottish and the wife is Indonesian. So that is why I can join the dinner. And the last one is I visit Edinburgh. It's just around 1.5 hour from Glasgow by bus. So yeah, it's close. Could you please move it to the next slide? Okay, and these are several ways of thinking from people here that resonate with me. And yeah, I just love the way of thinking like these 4 points. So the first one is rejecting something is everybody's right. So here, when we reject an offer from someone, that person wouldn't get offended by our rejection, and they know when they offer something, there's an option for us to reject or to accept that. And the second one is people's here are acknowledging different people's identities. So yeah, we just accept and we accept the fact that people may identify themselves like with different identity, and it's completely fine. It's a good thing. And the third one is like any emotion or feeling are valid. For example, when I firstly joined a class, like the first day of class, or I joined a seminar or a training, most of the time, usually the coach or the lecturer, they will say something like, it's normal if you guys feel so nervous today, or if you guys feels confused. So yeah, they just like, I think like it's yeah, I just like the way like people just like love to validate other people's feeling. And the last one is respecting other people's space. For example, if it's as simple as, for example, while we are walking in the street, and we have to like going through someone in front of us, then we have to say something like sorry, because it may uh it may like, you know, it's about their comfort. Maybe it feels like, oh, why did somebody just go through my space? So we have to say sorry. And I think it's something beautiful to, like, from people's here. Yeah, I think that's all from me. Could you please move it to the next slide? Thank you so much. And if you guys want to follow my Instagram or my LinkedIn, I would be love to. Okay, I think that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kak Paramita. We had very, very insightful tips on how to write your essay, including how to use proper data, for example, to make a convincing statement, but also to ensure that you have a clear plan of what you want to do after graduation. Now we're going to move on to the Q&A session. So if anyone would like to raise your hand and ask your question to one of our speakers, please do so. Otherwise, I think we have some questions in the chat box as well that have already been answered, but I think some have not been answered yet. Does anyone have any questions they would like to relay or ask directly to our speakers? Okay, if not, I think I'm going to move on and read some of the questions that have yet to be answered. This question is from Nava. Hi, I'm Nava. Since we need an offer to apply for the scholarship, is it okay to apply with a conditional LOA? Would any of the university representatives like to respond to the question?
I'm happy to respond first, because Imperial, you do need that offer before you apply to the scholarship. I know for some of the other universities it's different. Yes, that is fine. If it's a conditional offer, you can apply for the scholarship at Imperial. You will probably have a point or a deadline where you then need to meet any conditions of your offer and submit evidence.
Hello, so I'm Imran from University of Warwick, and for the University of Warwick, we do not need a conditional offer for you to apply for the scholarship. All you need to do is send in an application to the course you're interested in, to the eligible course, and when you send in your application, we'll give you an ID number. When you have this ID number, you can just apply for the scholarship. There's no need to wait for an offer. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Navdeep from the University of Bath, and we're very much the same as the University of Warwick. So everything that Imran has just said, that also applies to the University of Bath.
Thank you very much for the response. So just to be clear, the Imperial College London do need a conditional offer at the very least, or I think I saw in the comment as well, Ms. Jenny can also help fast track if you would like to apply for the scholarship. So be sure to contact her via email. But as for the University of Warwick and University of Bath, no, you don't need a conditional offer. So there's a question from Lila. I'd like to ask a question about the criteria of scholarship. Never lived in UK. Is being dependent of a master student considered as living in the UK? Maybe I would like to ask this question to the British Council representatives.
Yeah, I think you can actually apply, because I think I think you can live in the UK, but and sorry, what I mean is that as long as when you live in the UK, you are not studying and funded by the UK government scholarship, then you are eligible to apply.
Thank you so much, Pak Muhaimin. If there's no one that would like to ask questions, I think I would actually like to clarify. I think the UK educational system has quite a unique honors system. So for anyone that would like to translate, what does that look like in GPA form, for example, the minimum GPA to enroll? If anyone from the university representatives would like to respond as well to clarify any further confusion just in case.
I can start. For the University of Warwick, when we say we're looking for a second upper honors degree, we are for Indonesians generally, although Indonesians cannot apply to Warwick for this scholarship, but just for information, for Indonesians, we would expect a 3.3 GPA out of 4 for the second upper honors degree, and the equivalence for a second lower honors degree is 3.0 GPA out of 4.0, right? And so for Timor-Leste universities, if you are also following a 4.0 GPA scale, that would be similar.
Thank you very much.
I'm happy to add for Imperial as well, if it's okay. For students, I do recommend getting in touch with us. Our absolute minimum GPA across our courses at Imperial is 3 out of 4 for an Indonesian degree. It will depend on which university you went to, if it's public, private, for example, which is why I urge you to check your GPA with me first before submitting an application.
Hi, Navdeep from University of Bath. So our sort of GPA that we would be looking at would be depend on the course, but around 3 out of 4 if it's on the 4 scale, the G4 GPA scale. But if you check on the course web pages, it does outline for each of the course what the GPA is required for each of the courses that you're applying for. And of course, if you have any questions, get in touch with us directly. I'll add my details to the chat as well.
Thank you so much. So just to be clear, if anyone has any questions, because it does depend on which university you were in for bachelor's degree, for example, please don't hesitate to contact the UK university representatives. Now, I'd like to read a question for Kak Paramita. Can I ask to Kak Paramita about the reference letter? How do you provide for reference letters? Perhaps this means how do you select reference letters? And maybe some universities have different forms of reference letters that need to be submitted. What was your experience like when providing these letters?
Okay, so based on my experience, like different university that may have different way for us in providing the reference letter. Some of them, they just ask to like upload the reference document in PDF. So we just ask our lecturer from our undergraduate degree to provide us the PDF document. Don't forget with the, like with the title of our university. So make sure it's like something right. I mean like eligible. So, and or the other way, maybe some of the university, they ask us to just input the email of our lecturer, and they will send an email from the university directly to our lecturer, and don't forget to remind our lecturer to reply that email with their reference, so they have to like type it directly to something like form or website of the university. And in selecting the lecture as well, to give us a reference, I would suggest you to contact your thesis advisor, because usually it is considered that your thesis advisors have a lot of interaction with you, and that person know you the most. So yeah, but it's not limited to, you can just approach other lecturer that you are close to, or that is easier to approach maybe. Yeah.
Do you have any tips on someone who maybe have worked for some time? Do you have any friends or maybe fellow alumni that have shared how they provide their reference letters for those maybe who have worked for, let's say, 5 years or more?
Mm.
Or maybe anyone
Wait,
from
let me
our
think
speakers
first.
can help as well.
Uh, um, I think, I think when we approach a lecture, don't forget to mention like the purpose of this reference letter, because in case that we get accepted, or we get accepted for that scholarship, like we can we are kind of like offering the value for the university itself, for our undergraduate university, because they're going to be like kind of like proud because one of their student get accepted by university abroad and get a scholarship for that. So don't forget to mention the purpose of us asking for the reference letter. Yeah.
Thank you so much. This is
But
actually another follow-up question, but maybe I would like to ask Ms. Navdeep, Mr. Imran, or Ms. Jenny. There's a question regarding, can I use professional reference letter instead of academic reference for either the university or the scholarship application?
I'm happy to start. For Imperial, it may be different for the other universities. We normally look for 2 references, at least one must be academic, because they should be able to talk about your academic aptitude and skills to study at a master's level. In some circumstances, we may accept a professional reference as a second referee, but again, I would confirm with admissions before you apply. I look to Navdeep and Imran if you want to add anything to that.
Thank you, Jenny. For the University of Warwick, we ask for 1 reference letter for most of our courses. For this reference letter, we do prefer an academic reference. However, should you have left like university for a long time, you've lost touch with your, academic supervisor, and you're really finding it challenging to provide an academic reference, we will then, in that case, allow you to provide a professional reference. Navdeep, I don't know if you have anything to add.
Yeah, thanks, Imran. Yeah, just to add, very similar. So our preference is an academic reference from the University of Bath, but if you're not able to get that, or you've been away from your studies for quite a long time, then we would look at accepting a professional reference. But again, it would be the admissions team who would need to make the decision on that. So you'd need to be in touch with them directly.
Thank you so much. This is in relation to admissions, but someone asked, what kind of supporting document do we need to apply for the application fee waiver? Is there a link that can be checked, or are there certain documents that should be submitted by the applicant?
For Imperial, we do offer an application fee waiver. There is an application form you have to complete to apply for that waiver, and I will just find a link for you and place it in the chat.
Thank you so much.
Sorry, go on. Imran,
Go ahead, Navdeep.
Just to say, we don't have application fees for those courses that we're advertising under these scholarships, so there wouldn't be the application fee waiver, but we do have deposits on our courses. So we would waive the deposit for you if you're applying for these scholarships, and it would just be a case of letting the admissions team know once you've received an offer that you're applying for the scholarships, and then they would ensure that you would not have to pay that deposit.
And for University of Warwick, we usually do have application fees. However, if you are somebody who's applying for a scholarship, due to financial need, all you need to do is request for a fee waiver, application fee waiver. This happens at the bottom of your online application. And all you need to do is write in the text box that you are applying for the application fee waiver because you are going to apply for such and such scholarship, right? So depending on the name of the scholarship, you can write down the name of the scholarship that you're applying for, and that will suffice. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So I think those are all the questions for the admissions part. There are a lot of questions regarding, I think, career path, but also recommendations for career consultation after graduate school or before that as well. I'm not sure who I would like to pose this question to, but maybe Kak Paramita, if you or your friends have any experience in your experience and maybe in your friend's experience as well, is it better to pursue master's degrees straight away or work first and then get the professional experience first? I think it depends on the person, I suppose.
Yeah, I think it will be depend for each person, but for me, myself, I would suggest to have some working experience first, especially if you're looking for a scholarship, because otherwise you don't have like a very strong reason why do I have this scholarship when you just graduate from when you just graduate from your bachelor degree. But if you already have some working experience, you know exactly what you are good at, you know exactly what you are going to do. You already have like some of your career path, and you can say that by doing this course, by doing this study, your master study, you can like continue your career path in the right direction and doing more contribution for the nation, for the country.
Thank you so much. And I think if you would like to hear more about whether or not to pursue master's degree or to work first, I think it also is important to reflect on what you would like to do first. If you already know what you would like to pursue, perhaps it would be good to pursue master's degree straight away. But otherwise, I think either way is all right. It also depends on how you write your cover letter during the
Yeah.
application period. And there's a question from Elsa. If we are a fresh graduate who has no work experience yet, but has research experience for around 6 months, are we still eligible to apply for the scholarship? Maybe anyone from the university representatives would like to share their thoughts.
Yeah, I'm just checking the criteria. I believe that if you have work experience, that's a great thing to tell us. But if you don't have relevant work experience, it's being able to show that enthusiasm, knowledge, passion for the subject. So things like related research projects that you've done in your degree could well be a way to be able to demonstrate that.
Yes,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, please.
No, I was just going to say I totally agree with Jenny. For admissions to Warwick courses, it's very similar. Actually, for a lot of our master's courses, we do not ask for professional experience for you to apply. And so as long as you're able to demonstrate your interest, your passion, maybe the kinds of issues you've been following or tracking in the regarding the industry by reading the news or reading like books from thinkers and researchers in that topic, then that would be fine as well. That it is not necessary to have work experience to apply for many of our courses.
Yeah, and from the University of Bath, just to echo that as well, that we, if you have work experience, please do tell us about it, put it on your application form. But at the same time, it is not a required element that we would be looking for, and there's other ways to demonstrate your passion and knowledge of the subject area that you're applying for.
Thank you so much for the answers. I noticed that we do have some remaining questions, but since it is already 3:56 and we are running out of time, we will be recording the session, but also we will be recording all your questions. So if we do have the answers, we will reach out to you if you had dropped your contact information during the registration. But before we close, I would like to first ask everyone to open your cameras so that we can have a photo session. Perhaps our team from Indonesia Mengglobal, Baslin atau Kak Feli, can help with the photo session as well. If everyone would just like to open their cameras for just a little while. Okay, we'll be taking 4 slides of screenshots, so please bear with us. I'll be counting down from 4 times, so please keep your camera open all the while. So for the first slide, be sure to look at the camera and smile. We'll be taking a picture in 3, 2, 1. And then for the second slide, if you would like to open your cameras as well, if it is possible. We'll be taking a picture in 3, 2, 1. And then the third one, of course. Let's take a picture in 3, 2, 1. And last but not least, the fourth slide, if you would like to open your cameras. Otherwise, we will be taking a picture in 3, 2, 1. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us for this special online info session on the Women in STEM scholarships for Indonesia and Timor-Leste. Again, if your questions have not been answered, please don't worry. We'll be sharing slides with you, but also maybe you can send us the questions to the university representatives or the contact information that we will attach in the email with the slides. Again, please don't hesitate to reach out to us, Indonesia Mengglobal, or the British Council Indonesia, or even the university representatives. You can also join Indonesia Mengglobal's community WhatsApp group channel and also social media for further information. And again, don't hesitate to contact us if you have any questions. Thank you again to all our speakers for today, the British Council Indonesia, Pak Muhaimin, Ibu Yuni, Ms. Jenny, Ms. Navdeep, and Mr. Imran, and of course, Kak Parlamita for the very insightful session. We hope everyone here had a pleasant Saturday and wishing you a great weekend ahead. And let us know if you are interested. And don't forget the deadline is it's coming very shortly. With that, on behalf of Indonesia Mengglobal, I'd like to thank you and have a great weekend, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for today.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
We are not from a very financially strong background, and I always wanted to do something more.
I was the first one among all my friends and my family who had achieved this prestigious scholarship.
This scholarship has already transformed my life. I'm just so excited to go back and see how best I can make an impact.
Women who have a degree in science, technology, engineering, mathematics, or a related subject, and hail from South Asia, East Asia, and the Americas, are invited by the British Council to apply for a life-transforming experience and receive a master's degree scholarship in their field of study at some of the most prestigious universities across the United Kingdom.
I was a person who had never studied anything abroad. I was a person who had never lived a life alone. Now I'm doing everything independently, so it means a lot to me.
I just love this country and love my university because my university is stunning. And my professors, everyone is so welcoming and so friendly and very supportive.
This year-long scholarship is fully funded, including travel costs, tuition fees, visa and health cover, and a stipend. If you speak English, can demonstrate the need for financial support, and are already active in your field of study or able to prove a dedicated interest, this is a golden opportunity for both your studies and life experiences alike.
I get the chance to socialize with my friends, not just around campus, but in the city center. There are a lot of pubs, restaurants, cafes.
I have friends from the UK, from Europe, from Africa, and we have parties together, meetings together, we have studies together, so I'm loving it.
The most I'm enjoying being in UK is the freedom.
If you have aspirations of making a difference in your home country and dream of inspiring future generations of women who wish to pursue a career in STEM, this scholarship will give you the education, tools, and confidence to make a truly positive impact.
My knowledge base has expanded significantly since being here. Every time I learn something new, I think about how this could be implemented in Jamaica to make the environment a better place for protection, preservation, and also sustainability.
Being a woman in STEM is something extremely empowering because it is a field that has been underrepresented by women from the early stages of this field. So it's extremely important that we keep contributing and that we know that our work will have a positive impact in the life of many in the future.
For this unique opportunity, the British Council wholeheartedly encourages you to apply for the scholarship campaign.
If you're passionate about a career in STEM and if you have a dream to study in the UK, take the challenge and go for it.
It prepares me for something bigger in the future, I can tell.
I would definitely back you and encourage you to go for it without having any fears and doubts in yourself. I know it seems a little bit intimidating, but trust me that everything is going to fall in place.